What I'd like to do at this point is just do a very small presentation related to some of the things that we have found through this project that I think are interesting for sort of like, if we will, a future orientation of how things are progressing. And hopefully you can see on screen again the partnership represented through the project. But what's interesting, and CERC, the Southeast European Research Center, as part of City College, the Europe campus of the University of York, for us, it's all about the educational side of things. So this partnership brought together the educational side, the industry side, and the NGO side. From an educational point of view, anything that we can do to advance knowledge in the area of entrepreneurship, to provide those additional opportunities for those that may not get the opportunity for formal training, becomes a really important part of how do we grow entrepreneurship within Europe, and of course into the extended region. I'm really happy in looking at the people that signed up for today that we're into the Caucasus region. We're into a very broad area, so it really shows the interest, the overall interest here. Let me just talk a little bit because I'd wanted to talk about some of the additional opportunities for entrepreneurship and small business development. What we know from an entrepreneurial perspective is it's basically the growth engine of all of our countries. And basically you're looking at anywhere between 90 and 98% of companies basically fall into what we call the small or medium enterprise category. Some of the things that I'm going to talk to you about here, again, no more than about 10 or 15 minutes. There's something that we worked on with Dr. Giovanni Serafini and Dr. Petros Goulitsis in terms of the educational side and how we were able to bring that in. What we know right now is that generations Y and Z are very much focused on empowering their own careers. And we've seen this elevate itself through COVID. And there's been this real push, especially by these particular generations, towards SME development, towards entrepreneurship. Now, people will say, yeah, but it's normal. That's how businesses start. Well, normally, or at least past research has shown that this tends to happen when people are later in their careers. But the Ys and the Zs are doing this at a much earlier stage. When we look at economic development in the EU, it's very much focused on entrepreneurship. But, and you'll just bear with me for a second, I've got to let a couple more people into the room here who are late. Maybe we shouldn't let them in, but we'll still allow them into the room here. Apologies for that. So back what we were talking about, the economic development. But economic development and entrepreneurship with more of a focus on outside of urban centers, and we'll see why that's becoming more and more of an issue. Because basically after COVID, there were more people that were starting to rethink life and lifestyle and looking at opportunities outside of our quote-unquote urban environments. When we look at the female entrepreneurship side, what's interesting is that women tend to be much more cautious and methodical in entering entrepreneurial activities. There is very much of a research-driven approach that they take. When you combine that methodological approach followed by female entrepreneurs, and then match that up with the additional knowledge that they need in order to be able to develop businesses, to grow the businesses, to understand the international side, and really balance that that multifunctional role. That's where things like the MORE instrument become very critical in helping to grow those opportunities. And basically one of those issues around female entrepreneurship is the multifunctional role that women play. But it's even more so inside the rural environments. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a more of a stereotype that comes along with this within the rural environment. So the female entrepreneurship side becomes critical. And I think one of the things that Giovanni Petros and I found was that the amazing types of businesses that were being started in rural communities and the networks that were formed through women-owned businesses. So basically, what is driving this shift, if you will? Well, and this difference in community building. Cities are becoming more and more crowded. If we just look at the traffic, the traffic situations. I had the opportunity actually yesterday to be in Bucharest, and it was big traffic. And I've had the opportunity to travel around southeastern Europe, the Caucasus region, and each time I go, it tends to get a little bit worse. So it's driving people who are starting to rethink quality of life, the personal quality of life that's being sought. When you think about bringing up one's family, and this is where the Ys and the Zs and their interest in moving outside be a much less stressful environment. The ubiquitous fast internet services, these used to be much more contextualized within a urban environment, not anymore. And the move towards needing and producing in the marketplace more natural, organic types of products. So you've got really the two sides of the spectrum. Let's just say the very grassroots approach, which is food, organic products, and so on, all the way up to the digital side and everything in between that's driving some of this community building. So what is needed in order to make that happen? Well, a lot of it is skill building, and you can either buy it or bring it, okay? And the buy side is getting that access to the information. It's from an educational point of view, it's very hard for us to get into rural environments to really be on the ground. Internet is a fantastic tool, but if we look at the multifunctional role, time is now an issue. So being able to provide tools and toolkits that can be self-driven, self-paced, and self-tested becomes critical in order to help grow that type of thing. You look at the digital literacy, AI tools. AI tools don't really care where you're located. And this is the great big opportunity that the European Union is starting to push forward now as well, is creating those digital entrepreneurial activities outside of those urban communities. And finally, and we've talked about it, and I think Roberto made a nice point as well, about the networking side of things. It's about within and between communities, locally, nationally, internationally, and having the opportunity to present this type of tool to a group such as those of you that are here with us now, and those that are going to see this in a recorded format, just shows the power that these opportunities can come with. Just to put this in perspective of where we currently are in terms of rural entrepreneurship, it's basically focused around these these 6 elements. Agritourism, whether it's accommodations, guest houses, apartments, ecological activities, culture. You look at it from the tourism perspective, there's a big group each year, a big community of people that want to get back to nature, that want to get back to a simpler time, for lack of a better way of saying it. So there are great opportunities in this particular sector. Crafts, textiles, embroidery, traditional costumes, and so on. When you look at, again, getting back to basics, okay, the processing of baked goods, foodstuffs, and we see that from the organic side, the local products, production of desserts and sweets, the catering aspect, and so on. And then we say, what's the next step? Yes, we've created a fantastic foundation. Now let's see if we can take that to the next level, where we get into the AI, to the digital side of things, creating opportunities for people to really integrate into those particular environments, but at the same time, take advantage of all of the tools that are coming along in terms of the AI environment and so on. Finally, last things I wanted to say here, just about the future side, future developments. There's great opportunities in leveraging the digital aspect and expanding this more platform. And I really want to give credit to the whole partnership group in creating a toolkit, a website, that really takes into account all of and uses all of the different digital tools at our fingertips today. The video integration, all of the things, and this is where this webinar can play a really important role in terms of where we can go and how you can be, if you will, the next providers, taking that information to your networks and really expanding it through. And that's basically what I wanted to say on behalf of the partnership group, on behalf of CERC, in terms of where we are, where we've got to, and where we can take this into the next level. As I was speaking, I heard a couple of actually there was a question and an answer that came through here from Roberta. I guess at this point, I would just like to say, if there are any other questions or issues and so on that you would like to bring up, please feel free to do so either in the chat room, or if you want to raise your virtual hand, maybe Roberta and I might be able to answer it, or some of our partners that are with us here as well today.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, it's a big group. It's a big group. It's 100 plus.
But anyway, think about that maybe we can help you somehow, somewhere. The idea was exactly what Leslie was saying. This project and all the training are a tool for all of you that somehow are interested, of course, in this project and in this training. Also, let me tell you that if you need further mentoring, a suggestion, an advice, the entire group is here for you, just at an email reach, and we are really happy to have your feedback or to have the possibility to digital coach you, because we have all, and in particular IT Solution for All, we have all started somehow and we have grown from the first steps. So if we can help you, we will be happy to do it. Also consider that we provide normally digital services. So a way for this rural business is really to go digital, to make sure that you sell digitally your product, you spread the news, you inform and fidelize your customers, because the digital dimension really opens up great opportunity and skills. And of course you will find many contents related to digital skills needed in entrepreneurship. But if you need more help or assistance, here we are.
Yeah, and let me just reinforce that. Again, our institutions are here to assist, and from an educational point of view, we have information. It's just a matter of providing it. Okay, we've got all of the access, and the bottom line is, when we start to really grow rural entrepreneurship, when we really start to go forward with it, that's when we all benefit. And that's where, quite honestly, we begin to learn from others. And it's not just us providing the information and giving, it's about learning from others. And that's where storytelling becomes a really important, sense making becomes really important, and the network growing. So anything we can do from an educational standpoint, from an NGO standpoint, from the business standpoint, let us know, because we're all in this together. And I think if there's one thing that COVID has taught us, we are one big world. And the more that we can work together, the more that we can spread our entrepreneurial knowledge and excitement for entrepreneurship and growing businesses and helping people and helping society, the better we're all going to become.
Exactly.
So I think maybe this is a good opportunity to wrap things up. On behalf of all of the partners, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us. If you're watching this on recording, thank you for taking the time to click and be with us. We really look forward to maintaining this community, growing the community, and going forward in a really positive way for the benefit of everybody. And society is going to benefit from all of the great things that entrepreneurs bring. Let's all be a part of that together. So thank you very much. All the best. Good luck. Stay safe. And we look forward to hearing your stories as we go forward. So thank you very much, everybody. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.